Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about this topic. Today I'm going to be discussing femininity. A couple of months ago, well actually more like a year ago, I wrote this amazing post on my blog. I will link it below, and it was called Why I Choose Femininity. And to this day I still get so many messages about it. They're like, can you talk more about femininity? What is that? What does that mean to you? How are you feminine? Can you explain more about that? So I decided I'm gonna do a couple of videos on my channel about femininity. I am in no way trying to be a feminine coach. I know that is the new thing that is going on right now. I'm actually under a feminine coach. Her name is Michelle at the Inner Beauty TV movement. I will link her information down below. I love her. She's based in Atlanta and she is amazing. So if you want some information, I'm definitely gonna direct you to her, but I don't mind just giving briefly my thoughts on femininity. So Webster defines femininity as the state or quality of being a woman or just being womanly. And that definition is very vague. I mean, it doesn't really explain what femininity is. It's more so just a very general term. Now, I do think there are a lot of misconceptions as it relates to femininity. Some people, if you ask them, what does it mean to be feminine? What does femininity mean? Usually you'll get things like being soft or dressing nice, keeping your makeup together, your hair and things like that. And don't get me wrong, those things are a part of it, but it's not really what femininity is. It's kind of like the fruit it bears. I look at things like being soft, being kind, smelling good, things like that. That is the fruit that femininity bears, but femininity is actually so much deeper than that. So here's the thing about feminine energy. It's really hard to explain on its own. Because masculine and feminine energy are meant to complement each other, you have to explain both of them to get a thorough understanding of what feminine energy means. So let's start there. I like to describe feminine energy as a state of being. It's very much experience oriented. It's about the emotions of it all. And if I were to describe masculine energy, I'd say it's the state of doing. It's more so results oriented, and it is about getting to the bottom of things. And that's why a lot of times we say that women are more emotional, whereas men tend to be more logical. And that's not to say that men don't have emotions. That's another big misconception where we often treat men as if they're robots and they don't have feelings. They're humans. So yes, they have emotions. Some men are more emotional than others, but primarily, typically, usually, men tend to be more linear thinking. They want a plan. They want it to make sense. Everything has to fall into place logical, whereas women, we tend to just fly on a whim and just kind of do whatever. That's not to say that women can't be logical. There are so many women that are logical. I like to consider myself to be pretty logical. So it definitely doesn't mean that we aren't logical. It just means that typically we tend to lean more towards our emotions. It's often why you hear men say, oh my God, women are so crazy. I can't deal with them. And there can be a little truth to that because we're so driven by our emotions. I can see why a man might think like, oh my gosh, you women are crazy, you're unreasonable. But there is something a little bit deeper that we have to understand about that. It's funny because 3 years ago, I saw an interview from Dave Chappelle, and he was asked about Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was having a mental issue where he was basically running through the streets of Hollywood saying, they're trying to get me, they're trying to get me. And everyone was saying, is he crazy? What's going on with Martin Lawrence? What's going on with your friend? Dave Chappelle made an excellent point. He said the most dismissive thing you can do is call something that you don't understand crazy. It's extremely dismissive. It shows that you're not trying to understand it. Now, I don't say that to give women a pass to be crazy, because I know there are lots of us that can do some very interesting things. But the root of it all usually is just simply our emotions. And here's where I want to get to the meat and potatoes of what it means to be a feminine woman and what femininity means and the power that it has. So without question, we all know that being viewed as a masculine man is a huge benefit. Masculinity is viewed as power. And it's so interesting because now in more modern times, we seem to view femininity as not having power, when in fact, femininity is power. It's just power in a different way. Because we are so intuitive and so driven by our emotions, imagine a woman who has control of her emotions, who has control of her intuitive nature, using that to get ahead, using that to work well with others. Some of the most powerful feminine women I know have the amazing ability to read a room. And not only can they read the room and read the atmosphere, they have the ability to change the atmosphere and change your energy in the room. And that's such a powerful thing. It speaks volumes. I'll tell you this one personal story that happened to me back in college. So I was in this online course, and I don't even really remember the course. It was so long ago. And we had a group project, and I was having so many issues getting in touch with my group members. It was a really weird, really crazy time. So we weren't as together as we needed to be. And it just so happened when my teacher wanted to meet with us, the one time that she wanted to meet with us as a group to like check on our progress before our final presentation, I wasn't able to make it because I had to work. And the thing is, I kind of already was on thin ice with the teacher anyway, because our group as a whole were just having such a hard time collaborating. And when we did our presentation, I was smiling the whole time. I picked up from the group that everyone was kind of nervous, kind of really didn't care. They were just like, whatever. I was smiling the whole time. I was interacting while everyone else was talking and giving their part of the presentation. And when my teacher gave me my final grade, she literally said to me, Jazmon, I know your group has so many issues and I was so disappointed in you guys, but I had to give you an amazing grade because you were so supportive the entire time that you were on the call. Your energy was beautiful, you were smiling, you were interacting. So I literally changed my grade because I came into it being positive. I read the energy of the group. I read the energy of my teacher. I could tell that she was uncomfortable because it was a very awkward presentation, guys. I wish I could remember the details of why that group was so weird, but it was just a very weird time for all of us. And I actually got a higher grade than my other group members on a group project. But that's just the power of femininity, being able to pick up on that. And I know so many women that often sit in their emotions and let it eat away at them instead of using that, instead of using the ability to read others' emotions and be intuitive, instead of using that to your advantage, they often just sit in it, or even worse, they let it corrupt them, and then they begin to emulate what everyone else is doing. We never, ever, ever want to do that. Women like Queen Esther, Coretta Scott King, Rosa Parks, I can go on and on, have accomplished so many beautiful things by being feminine women. Just because you're feminine doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. It doesn't mean you just shut up and you don't have anything to say and you're so docile. That's not what that is. That's only what makes you a woman. What's unique to you as being a powerful emotional force. When you can learn to control your emotions, when you can learn to understand and analyze them, you use them to talk to people. You can use them to influence. Not manipulate, but influence, because there's a big difference between manipulation and influence. That's the power of a feminine woman. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into my video. I love this topic. I'm so passionate about this topic. And let me know, how do you feel about femininity? How do you get into your feminine nature? I've read so many books. I can also do a video about the books that I've read that have helped me get in touch with my more feminine side. This is a never-ending journey. I started this journey maybe back in around 2015, and it is a never-ending journey. I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly learning. I am not perfect, but I am taking the steps. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.